Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you from my studio here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. Thank you so much for stopping by for a visit. I hope you enjoy seeing what I have to share. And that will include some knitting, some sculpting, a fair amount of acquisitions, and the awarding of 4 prizes for the Harry Potter knit-along that's currently running in our Ravelry group. And the beginning of October also means the start of the annual Pen, Hook and Needles Toy-Along. And I'm so very thrilled to once again be co-hosting this with sweet Manjusha and Talia of the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast. Thank you so much, ladies, for inviting me to once again co-host this wonderful KAL. I'm really looking forward to it, as I always do every year. What I've decided to do is to award prizes at the end of each month of the knit-along. The knit-along runs from October the 1st to December 31st, and what I've decided to do is award prizes at the podcast that I record following the end of the previous month. So at the end of October, the next podcast, I will award prizes, 3 prizes, for all the finished objects that are completed and put into that thread on our Ravelry group from October 1st to October 31st. The next set of prizes I'll award the podcast that I record after November the 30th, and it will have prizes awarded to finished objects that are completed between October 1st and November 30th. And the final prizes will be awarded, probably would be in the beginning of 2018, for all finished objects in the Victorian Studio podcast group thread that are completed between October 1st and December 31st. So each month I'll award 3 prizes, and those will include the first prize will be the winner's choice of one $10 US or less giftable Ravelry pattern. The other prize that I'll award is the winner's choice of one of the stitch markers or progress keepers from my Etsy shop, the Victorian Studio shop. And the third prize that I'll award each month is one of 3 project bags that I have sewn up. So this weekend I got my sewing machine out and created 3 of these bags, and they're really nice, big and squishy. Just show these to you. I think they're 13 by 12, so they're a really nice big size. They have lots of thick padding, a nice long handle, and a nice coordinating interior to them. So I hope the winner will enjoy using those. So one of those will be also awarded each month. So if you're planning on doing any toys, especially for any other knit-alongs, you can certainly double dip and enter them into the Victorian Studio podcast group over on Ravelry. So check out the thread over there. I have all the rules and regulations and pictures of the prizes over there as well. So thank you again, Manjusha and Talia, for inviting me to co-host this. I'm sure we're going to have a wonderful time. So let's see, I guess I'll just get straight to the knitting then. I'm not going to show you everything I've been working on over the last couple of weeks because there are a few things that I haven't really done too much on, and it would have taken far too long. This is probably going to be a longer than normal episode anyway. So what I thought I would share with you are some of the things that I finished and 2 projects that I have started. So the first things I wanted to share were a couple of projects that I was doing for the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup. If you've been here before, you're probably sick of me talking about it, but it is a wonderful opportunity to knit up a few smaller items to meet the class prompts over there. So as you can tell by my Weasley sweater today, I'm a member of Gryffindor House over there, and so any of the projects that I get completed and points for go for Gryffindor House. So the first couple are some smaller projects that I was doing just to meet some of the prompts. I think one of them was wand lore, and you had to do something that was in the color of wood. So what I did was I found some other member had done this small project called the Cable Braided Necklace by Olga Burea Keflian, and this is an older pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, but it's really nice because what you do is you knit 2 long strips and physically braid them together, and so it really comes out to be a really nice looking accessory. You can certainly do it as a necklace or wrap it around a few times and make a cuff, which is what I was using it for. So like I said, it's a very, very small project. I used some of this wool-like yarn. It's so very soft. It's, let's see, I think it's just acrylic. It's 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. So it's the Loops and Threads wool-like. And since I had a fair amount of that, I just went into there. I knew I had plenty just to make this small little wristlet or cuff. And it's so very soft. But it's a really interesting method to knit up. You do some yarn over so it creates holes in it, and like I say, you just physically braid the 2 strips together to get this really nice braided effect. And I know it's hard to see in the brown here. I will of course put pictures in at the end so you can see that a little bit better. And the other small project that I have in this bag is something. It was a prompt for the Harry Potter House Cup to attempt to do something that you haven't done before. So what I did was I thought I would finally get my crochet hooks out and try to do something in crochet. So see, Talia and Marlisha, I actually tried crochet for the very first time. I might have tried it a little while ago, never got past doing a couple of chains. So this was a real first for me. So what I did was I got some scrap yarn out and I went over on YouTube and found a video entitled How to Crochet for Absolute Beginners. And it was really wonderful to go step by step with a really clear instructor to do the different methods for creating different patterns in crochet. So at least I tried it. I don't know how you crocheters do it. I would need an awful lot more practice because it took me so long to do it. I did a little wee test swatch first, and then the same instructor had another video on how to crochet a rose. So that's what I entered in the house cup, was this tiny little crochet rose. But at least I tried it, and yeah, I was pretty happy with the results. But as I said, it took me forever to do this, but I was pretty happy with the results. So at least now I can say I've tried crochet. I don't know if I'll be picking it up much more. You know, I would definitely need a lot more practice to get comfortable with it, but at least I can say I've tried it. So those were just a couple of small projects that I was able to enter into a couple of classes over in the House Cup. So the next thing that I did over there for another class, and in September I did all of the classes in the House Cup. There were 8 in all, so I had a lot of small projects on the go. So the next one is, it's actually a pattern for an Afghan square, but I just made a washcloth or dishcloth out of it. What I did a little while ago is I signed up for the Cascade Yarns Knitterati Afghan Knit-Along. And I think it's every couple of weeks, they were emailing links to download each one of these blocks for free over on Ravelry. So a few of them I really thought would be nice as washcloths or dishcloths. And so this one by Ethel Weinberg, I believe it's block number 8 that just came out recently, is called Lace Anniversary Square. And the prompt over in the House Cup was to do something in white. So what I did was I got out my cotton yarn and did this square. And I really love the way this turned out. It's so pretty. And this is going to make a really nice gift for someone, I'm sure, at Christmas time. So yeah, it didn't take very long at all. It's a fairly large square. As I said, it was meant to be a square for an Afghan, but done up in cotton is still beautiful as well. And again, I'll put a picture at the end of the podcast so you can see that a little bit better. But I used just US 4s or 3.5 millimeter needles, and it took about 58 grams of cotton yarn. So again, this is a free pattern from Cascade Yarns, and I'm really enjoying seeing all the ones that they've had come out. Not all of them I'm going to use, but I think I've already used a few of them that they've put out for free. So let's see, the next thing I wanted to share with you, another prompt over at the House Cup was to create something that was inspired by another House Cupper, that is another member of the House Cup over on Ravelry. And I remember seeing back in July somebody had done a really quick cowl, and I thought it would be great to do that for another few quick points over in the House Cup. So this is called the Bridger Cowl by Chris Basta. And again, this is a free pattern. And it's meant to use worsted or Aran weight yarn. That's not a very good picture. I'll put a picture of it over here. But what I did was I decided to use a lighter weight yarn and just hold it double. And that way I could use the US 10s or 6 millimeter needles that they recommend. And I ended up using about 200 yards. And I really love the way this turned out. And it was really so very quick. You can make it larger. Yeah, I made a nice cowl that will be either nice as a gift or just, under my coat in the winter time. What I decided to use, the yarn that I wanted to use was some yarn that was gifted to me, back in April of 2016. I did a swap with another member of the Fibertrek podcast group, and it was called the Home Port Swap. And Eileen from Cape Cod was so very sweet. She hand dyed some fingering weight yarn for me, and it's so very nice. I thought it would look so cool doubled up in this cowl. So I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. As I said, it's a really quick knit, and it'll be just a really nice cowl to wear under my coat, or probably, I think it would be too warm to wear indoors, but we have plenty of cold days here in Winnipeg, so I'm sure I'll get use out of that. And I love the way the yarn looks held double. So you just do some lace on the bottom and then proceed with just some stockinette at the top, and then finished up with some garter stitch. So super easy, super quick, and really like the way that turned out. So those were the items that I've completed over the last couple of weeks. I've been working on my owl and my socks, but there's not a lot to share with you that's much different from the last time I showed them. But what I did cast on new was for another extracurricular activity in the House Cup called their missions. And it's meant to be a project that's larger than a 1-month commitment, but not as large as the owls, which are a 3-month commitment. So between 6 and 8 weeks, they wanted you to choose a pattern that would fit about that time frame for you to complete. So what I decided to do was get out some yarn I've had for a little while. I got it gifted from my daughter for Mother's Day, and I always had it earmarked to do a vest with. So I thought this was a good opportunity to start that project. So that one is in this large bag. And this is the bag that I most recently created for myself using the material that I got printed over at Spoonflower with my Patronus fox on it. So it's great to have this nice and big to hold my my vest. And the vest pattern that I've decided to do is called the Stony Brook vest. And it's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. And let's see, what I like about it is it's got some cable work at the top. Again, the picture isn't the greatest. I'll put a picture in here. But I love cables. If you've been around here before, you'll know that. But I think it will be a really a pretty vest to do. So I've started on it. It's knit in pieces and then sewn together. So I've started on the back piece of it first. And the yarn that I'm using is some Cascade. Now if I can find the label, here we go. It is, oh sorry, it's not Cascade, it's Rowan. It's the Rowan Felted Tweed. And this one is, let's see if it has the color name on here. I don't think it does, which is too bad. It just has the number, but the color is, you know, just a nice kind of tealy, bluey green felted tweed style. I have all the information on the yarn on my project page, but I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 6 of these 50-gram balls. And this is, I just started this, you know, what, about a week ago, I believe, a few days ago. So it's just started. So again, that's just the back, and you start with a ribbing. It's a type of ribbing I haven't done before. Both the knit and purl sides have a different pattern of ribbing, which was interesting. And right now I'm just in the stockinette stitches, and because it's being knit flat, it's a lot of purling. You know, I think some people have probably knit this in the round, combined the sides and the back. Of course, I guess you couldn't knit it in the round without steeking it. I don't think I'm there yet. So yeah, I think it would still have to be knit flat. But yeah, so I'll just be working my way up through to the back, and then you do each front piece separately. So I'll be knitting on this for a little while yet, but so far it's a fairly light fabric that I'm getting, which will be nice because the other vest that I have is a lot heavier. So this will be interesting to see how this turns out. And the last project that I wanted to share with you is again something else that I just cast on. And what I did was I took advantage of 3 different knit-alongs to be able to enter this one project into. There's of course the toy along at Pen Hook and Needles, so this is going to be a toy. There's also a prompt over on the Harry Potter House Cup group for one of the classes to create something that's more than 50% green. And the last one, is for the O-Loops Harry Potter knit along. And October's main challenge is one of the items that you can do is a dragon. So what I thought I would do is kill one dragon with 3 stones and do the Dragon and Friends pattern from Fuzzy Mittens. So this is a pattern that I had downloaded when I created my other dragon. I used this kind of as a reference, but I didn't do the actual pattern verbatim before, so I thought it would be nice to try that. This is by Barbara Prime, and this is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. Again, it's created in pieces, as a lot of toys are. So when I'm using US 7s or 4.5 millimeter needles, And the yarn that I'm using for this is something I've had in my stash since 2014, since I first started knitting. And this is some Red Heart Boutique Treasure. And it's acrylic, which is just fine for toys. It's very, very soft. It's called Mosaic. So I have 3 balls of this, and I've already been using a fair amount of the first ball for the first couple of pieces. You start with the feet or the legs. So I knit those up, and I haven't stuffed them yet, but I thought I would do a bunch of pieces and then do all the sewing and stuffing together. And when I was knitting these up, I was thinking, boy, it's going to be a fairly large dragon, so it's going to be a fairly large toy, not like the smaller one that I designed previously. So this is a lot of fun. I really love making toys. I don't mind the fiddliness at all of this. So I already had some safety eyes in my stash as well, so I have those all chosen for it. So I have the feet, I have the stuffing, I've created the body part, so the main body section. Again, it will be sewn up on the bottom. So I just love the way this yarn transitions between the blues and the greens. So I'll have to make sure that I have at least the 50% green to meet that one challenge, but I think it's going to make a really cute dragon. So that's all I've got done on that project so far. Yeah, I'm sure the next episode, hopefully I'll have that finished, because once you get going, it doesn't really take too long to create those. So that's a lot of fun. So I think that's it for the knitting this episode. What I also wanted to share with you was some sculpting that I've been doing for my own stitch markers and progress keepers, but also for my shop restock. So thank you everybody who has purchased from the shop. It's been wonderful. I'm really enjoying having my own shop and sending things out all over the world. So it's really fun, and it gets me sculpting and painting again too, which is always a lot of fun. So what I did over the last little while was some more bakery items. So, and I also went on Vistaprint and ordered some business cards for my shop as well. So I'm thrilled to be able to put those in the packages that are sent out to all the people who buy from the shop as well. So that was kind of fun. So as I said, I got a little bit of a baking done. What I first wanted to share with you, I had previously had some donuts in the shop, some sugar coated donuts, and also these chocolate glazed donuts, and I was getting low on these, so I was making a bunch of these chocolate ones again, when I thought I would try to change them up a little bit by adding sprinkles to them. So I've made a few chocolate donuts with sprinkles, and then I thought, well, if some of them had sprinkles, I could make them strawberry as well. So a strawberry glazed donut with sprinkles as well. So I'll be adding these to the shop over the next few days, and when I do, I'll put it on Instagram when I update the shop so that you'll know. So I've made a few of these. See if I can show them to you without them falling. And again, I'll have pictures at the end of the episode so you can see them better. But there's a bunch of sprinkle coated donuts. They're all progress keepers. And I think I'm going to move mostly, these are all stitch markers. And I was thinking after I made these, I'll be moving more to, I think, creating dual purpose stitch markers and progress keepers. That is, making them with these large rings, but also adding lobster clasps to them so that they can work as either stitch markers or progress keepers. So I'll probably be doing that in the near future. The second item that I wanted to try out was using some charms that I had ordered a little while ago, but I hadn't yet actually made them up into charms to sell. And these were little muffin trays. They're metal and they're heavier than the other charms that I've made up. So these will be good progress keepers. But they're tiny little muffin trays, and what I did was I sculpted in some chocolate chip muffins in these. So these were a lot of fun to create. Basically, it's the polymer clay muffins and little chocolate chips, and they're covered with varathane, of course, to protect them. And they're in these cute little metal muffin trays. So I think these will really look so very cute on knitting projects or crochet projects. So the last thing that I thought I would do in celebration of the Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend is some pumpkin pies. Previously I've done lemon meringue pie, but I thought I'd try my hand at some pumpkin pie stitch markers or progress keepers. So yeah, I made up a couple of pies and cut them into sixths. So I have 12 of them that I've made up. So I'll probably put about 10 of them in the shop because I always like to keep a couple. So yeah, these were a lot of fun to make. You make them up like a regular pie with the crusts on the bottom and then the filling, and then a dollop of whipping cream kind of melting down the side of the pie. So again, those are on kind of like a rose tone gold clasp. So those are very, very pretty. So those again will be added to the shop this week. So for Canadian Thanksgiving, and also in plenty of time for the US Thanksgiving, or if you like your pumpkin pie at Christmas time, they'd make a good Christmas charm as well. So yeah, a lot of fun to continue to create those for the shop and for my own use as well. So it's been a couple of weeks since I last recorded, and between then and now, daughter and I have attended a couple of different shows. One of them was a fibre festival, the Manitoba Fibre Festival, that was held a couple of weeks ago, and then 2 weeks after that was an antique show. So I thought I'd show you what we picked up from both of these shows. The Fibre Festival, as usual, was so much fun. We went on the Friday evening and got lots of wonderful fiber and some other goodies, and of course had to visit with the sheep and alpaca who were there. And at the end of the podcast I'll have some photos and video from that. But yeah, always so much fun to go to the Fibre Festival. So because I was getting kind of low on my fiber stash, I thought I would restock it, and I sure did. I got some beautiful items there. If you've been here previously, you know that I really love Cloud9 Fibreworks, and I had just finished spinning up a couple of braids from them from the last Fibre Festival, so I thought it was a great time to restock from them and get another 2 bats of their fiber, and this time in this beautiful reds and pinks colorway. And this, I think, do they have a name for it? They call this Rosebud. So yeah, this is going to make some beautiful yarn. I'm looking forward to spinning this up. It's 100% superwash merino, fluffy roving, so very soft. So that was one of my first purchases over there. And also I couldn't resist getting this merino tencel. It's a 50/50 from Manjusha Farm, and there's their card. And yeah, this is so very pretty. Daughter said it reminded her of My Little Pony with the teals and the purples in it. I think this will really make an interesting spin as well. Very, very pretty. And let's see. I also purchased beautiful big bat. This is from WW Naturals, Wild windnaturals.ca, and I'll make sure I link these shops in my notes. But this is a mix of Merino, Cormo, Angelina, Cormo Locks, BFL Merino, milk protein fiber. So it's 4.3 ounces of beautiful, beautiful fiber. I think will really make a nice spin as well. And let's see, I also got from my dear friend Lori from Homespun Tools this great bat of natural browns and rusts. Beautiful bat that she's put together. Really reminds me of a fox. Reminds me of my fox toy with the rusts, the browns, and the creams. This is going to be so beautiful. So thank you so much, Lori, for that. She really does beautiful, beautiful work. And she has some awesome vintage wheels, spinning wheels. She knows her stuff for spinning. She does spinning tools and all of that as well. And you could find her posting quite a bit on the CPW thread over on Ravelry. She really knows her stuff on ancient or antique spinning wheels. So the last item that I got was from Longway Homestead, and this is a farm in rural Manitoba, and they had a calendar and such beautiful pictures from their farm. I thought this will be great starting in January to have in the studio. There was one picture that just really sold me on it. This was July, with a picture of the sheep and the cat on the sheep as well. So they had a really interesting booth. They had all kinds of things, everything I think from jam to fiber to these other items like calendars. So Longway Farm Homestead, if they have a website, I'll make sure I link them as well. So it was a lot of fun seeing them there. I hadn't seen them before. So yeah, so you know, it's always a lot of fun to go to the Fibre Festival. And then 2 weeks later, daughter and I went back to the same area. It's at the Assiniboia Downs here in Winnipeg. Of course, all the way on the other side of the city from us, but it's not too far. Once we were at work, we just went again on a Friday evening and hit up an antique sale. And if you can tell from behind me or other images of my studio or home, both daughter and I really love antiques. And so I found a few little goodies that I thought I would share with you as well. Nothing knitting related, but although I will put in some pictures at the end of some hand knit sweaters. I couldn't believe how many like the Cowichan type sweaters there were for sale at the antique show. That was very interesting to see. And the other thing, the other item that I took a picture of, and I wish I would have asked how much it was. I didn't. There was a lot of people around it, but I actually saw firsthand, and I've never seen before, a buffalo coat at the antique show. It was a huge thing, which was very popular, of course, with like the voyageurs and, you know, the pioneers in this area. Something that would definitely keep you warm when it's near 50 below. Here on the prairies in Canada. So that was really cool to see. So I picked up a few little items. The first thing that I picked up, I love getting antique Halloween or vintage Halloween items, and I'll be putting these out in the next few days for Halloween this year. But I found this little treat bucket from the 60s or 70s of a black cat, so I thought that was really cute. So that'll make a good addition to my vintage Halloween decor. And I also had really good luck finding a whole bunch of antique and vintage ink bottles, and I have a whole collection of them up. You probably can't see them behind me. On the shelf behind me, I have a whole shelf of vintage and antique office supplies. So I'll try to remember to put a picture of them at the end as well, so you can see them. I also love old tins, and I love this leather. It's leather and saddle soap tin. I thought that would really look nice in my Victorian studio. And also over the years I've seen White Owl brand cigar tins, which are very, very expensive. You know, they can run like $80 or more for these tins. And when I saw this cigar box for only $10, I knew I had to pick it up. I thought it looked really cool. It's almost Harry Potterish and also vintage, but also it reminds me, of course, of Hedwig. But the inside is beautiful. It's really good condition. So I think this will make a really nice display piece in the studio. Find something really cool to put in the middle, the inside of that. But I was really pleased to find this with such good graphics for only $10. So yeah, I didn't get a whole bunch at the antique show, but those are the major things that that I purchased over there. And daughter found a whole bunch of things that she was looking for, so that was a lot of fun. So other than the 2 shows that we attended, the other thing that has come in is some yarn. So I haven't had new acquisitions in yarn for quite a while, and it seems like everything came all at once over the last week or 2. So the first ones that I wanted to share with you, I mentioned on the last podcast, was Lisa over at Fibernymph Dyeworks, or the 90% Knitting podcast, had mentioned that she was dyeing up some yarn for hurricane relief called Overcome, and mine arrived, and it's so beautiful. It's the mix of like the cloudy grays and then the rainbow sparkles, or this has some stellina in it, but also, you know, these speckles of rainbow colors, and it is really beautiful. And this is on her bedazzled base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. So thank you so much, Lisa. I'm really thrilled that I could get one of these and assist in your hurricane relief fundraiser. So that was cool. The other things that came in, let's see, all from one vendor. Over the summer, Lydia Brown over at the O-Loops yarn and also podcast and group over on Ravelry. She is not only a beautiful dyer of yarn, she also holds a Harry Potter knit along every fall. And last fall was the first time that I started participating in that KAL. And of course I wanted to participate again this year. And the only caveat to participating is that you have to purchase at least 1 skein of yarn from her shop, so that you can use it during the knit along. So what she does is, over the summer, she starts dyeing up her Harry Potter colorways and spreads out those orders throughout the summer. So what I did is I had actually ordered quite a few, I think 3 different orders, and they all came at once. So this looks like a lot of yarn, but I did kind of spread it out over the summertime. So what I did this year is, to make sure that I got into Gryffindor House, of course my favorite house, I purchased what she called the Prefect Kit for Gryffindor House. So that comes with yarn and all kinds of other goodies that she throws into the package. So this is the bag of goodies that comes with the yarn, of course with the Gryffindor Quidditch logo on there. You get all kinds of things with this, including some badges. There's 4 different badges in here that are all Gryffindor related. And of course, if you got the Prefect Kit for Ravenclaw, Slytherin, or Hufflepuff, all of your yarn and badges would be different. So there's 4 different badges there. She added in some awesome tea. This is the Forest Witch tea for Gryffindor. And let's see, what other goodies? Oh, of course, we had to get some Birdie Bott's Every Flavor beans. So that will be fun to treat on. And some pumpkin spice tea, of course, for the fall. And of course, I have to have my platform 9 3/4 ticket to get to Hogwarts. And a stitch marker set, and each house had a different set. So this is the Gryffindor set, and it includes charms, that are related to the house. Our animal is the lion, the house element is fire, house colors scarlet and gold, and yeah, so it has different charms related to each house. So that was a lot of fun to get. As well as all of those goodies, she included some awesome, oh, this smells so good. I just want to keep it at my desk so I can just keep smelling it. Cherry almond soap, and it has a Gryffindor wax seal on it. So this is from Bova Body at Etsy.com. So I will link that as well in the show notes because it smells incredible. I don't want to use that. I just want to have it sitting and perfuming my studio. So I'll show you next the yarn that I got with the, believe this is the yarn that came with the prefect kit, and this is her Brave at Heart, and it's Perfection Knot, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards. So this you could make either socks or a shawl with the coordinating smaller skein as well. So beautiful, beautiful. Gold and red, of course. And then some of the other yarns that I decided to get, this one, excuse the crinkling, is her set of minis, because usually during the knit along she'll have a prompt for doing something using mini skeins. So this is in her ascot base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, in the I believe this is called the Heroes set. And it has Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Ginny Weasley, Fred and George, and Neville Longbottom colorways. So these are awesome. Can't wait to figure out what to do with those. Also, on one of her pre-orders, I got some two of the same style yarns. And one is in the Lord Voldemort colorway. It's beautiful teals and grays. I think that's going to make something really awesome. Love that. This is in her Perfection Knot fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and in the same base, Sirius Black. So again, with more of the Gryffindor colorways in there. Beautiful, beautiful yarn that she does. And also, this is her Twisted Bachman base. This is BFL, 80% BFL, 20% nylon. Hogwarts will always be my home colorway. Really, really beautiful. So I'm very lucky to have gotten that. And the last colorway that I got is the Hogwarts Express with the Sorcerer's Stone. So again, a kind of a mix and match set. Makes some great socks. This is her ascot base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's 400 yards in total, so it'll be plenty big enough to make some socks with contrasting cuff, heels, and toes, I'm sure. So that's really cool. So thank you so much, Lydia, for all of that. I am now well prepared for the knit along this fall, but also being Lydia, she was so very sweet and kind and generous. She has also sent some yarn for you, as well as donating one of her ebooks, her Harry Potter ebook pattern book. It's got 4 patterns of hers, and I will add that to the thread over in the Victorian Studio podcast group under the prizes. So we're adding her ebook, as well as she sent a skein of yarn for the prizes in that KAL as well. So this is called her Boxcar Base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nep, and it's 438 yards in the Giggle Water colorway. So beautiful, Lydia. Thank you so much. What a nice surprise to get this in my package as well. So I will definitely leave an image of this on the thread for the prizes for the Harry Potter knit along over in the Victorian Studio podcast group. So very wonderful. Thank you. So speaking of prizes for the Harry Potter knit-along, it's time for me to award 4 prizes for posts in the thread over in our group on Ravelry. I went to random.org earlier today and popped in the numbers 2 to 2,421. Yes, I can't believe that there is, well over 2,000 posts in that thread. So many incredible projects and so many great chatter and support everybody's been giving each other. It's been wonderful. So what I did was I went over to random.org and chose 4 prizes, and let's see, here they are underneath the whole pile of stuff here, and I will show them as I award them. Just get them out here. Okay, so today we'll be awarding, as I said, 4 prizes. The first one is the Platform 9 3/4 Hogwarts Express tote bag. These I got at HMV before it closed down, so yeah, this is a really nice reusable tote bag, and it's an official Harry Potter licensed product. So the winner of this bag goes to post number 864, and that's Michelle KY Spinner. So congratulations, Michelle, you've won this bag. So let me know when you see this and send me your address and I will get that out to you. The next prize to award today is the Harry Potter stitch marker set of books that I created. A few sets of these. So this will come in a little Harry Potter bag with a Harry Potter ribbon sealing it up, but I just thought I'd get them out and show them to you. This is a set of 7 stitch markers that I made using polymer clay and images of the books. And so yeah, a set of all 7 of the Harry Potter books. So this stitch marker set goes to post number 1834, Allison Roseboom. Congratulations, Allison, you've won the Harry Potter book set. So I hope you enjoy using those. And I believe Allison is also participating in the Oloops Harry Potter thread, so that's very appropriate. The third prize is one of the smaller bags that I sewed up for this knit along. This is the Harry Potter quotes from the books, and then it's got this nice light interior. So that prize goes to let's see, post number 2027, Birdie and Poppet. That's Gil from the UK. Is it Gil or Jill? So Birdie and Poppet, congratulations. You've won the project bag. So that will be going out to the UK. And the last prize to award today is a skein of yarn. And this is the skein of yarn that was donated by Supernatural Yarns. And that's Shannon over there. She had donated this wonderful Harpy DK weight yarn in the Pepper Imps colorway. And this is 100% superwash merino 4-ply, 250 yards. So this is a really beautiful, brightly colored skein of yarn, and it is going to post number 2158, Rachel Acton Kitten. So congratulations, Rachel. You've won the yarn. So again, anybody that I have to send out, I guess they're all physical prizes this time. So all the winners, please contact me through Ravelry and message me with your mailing addresses, and I'll get those prizes out to you as soon as possible. So congratulations to everyone. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to be back in 2 weeks' time. And in the meantime, I wanted to wish all my Canadian viewers happy Thanksgiving for next weekend. I hope you have a wonderful long weekend. So until I record again, Thank you again for popping by. Hope you enjoyed visiting, and I hope to see you again in the Victorian Studio podcast next time. Until then, bye-bye, hon. Hello, pay attention. Pay attention to me, hey?
Loving.
Oh, that's funny. Hi. You're a sweetie. You are a sweetie. Hi. Oh, true. Teeth. They kind of got a stand going.